Good afternoon, everyone. This is Clem with Queenie's Book Talk and Reviews, and I am your literary ambassador. And today I have Trevy McDonald on my channel. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hi, Queenie. Thank you for inviting me.
All righty. Tell us who you are as a person and as an author.
So, as a person, I guess I would like to just share my life purpose, and that's to uplift, empower, and inspire other people in an entertaining and informative way, which brings them joy. So, one way I do that is through teaching. I'm a journalism professor at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, and the other way I do that is through writing.
All right. The sequel, Roundabout Midnight, is about what?
So it picks up literally where Time Will Tell ended. When I wrote Time Will Tell, I was in my late 20s and thought it would be a really great idea to end it with a cliffhanger.
Mm-hmm.
Even though that wasn't my intention when I started the book, it was just, as you know, you write, you get to know your characters, and then these things happen and you go, what if? So Roundabout Midnight picks up right where Time Will Tell ends. And it just really covers the characters in their late 20s as they are having to make some major decisions and just experiencing incidents that cause them to have sleepless nights, hence the title Roundabout Midnight.
Now tell us about the cover of your book.
Sure. So I'm going to hold it up. This is actually the bell tower of my university. And as in the cover for Time Will Tell, my artist used primary characters to describe the main characters' moods and personalities. You see those colors reflected also in the three women here, Thomasine in the red, Rachel in the orange, and then Hope in the blue. So they're just sort of kind of looking up at the bell tower. It's close to midnight because they're having just a bunch of drama in their lives that are causing them to lose sleep.
So what is the significance of the title?
So kind of similar to Time Will Tell, it is a title from a song from an early Wynton Marsalis recording. He did an album when he was with Art Blakey called The All-American Hero, and Roundabout Midnight is one of the titles, and it is the jazz standard round midnight that he jazzed up a little differently.
Okay. Who are Thomasina, Rachel, and Hope?
So let's see. There are three women who met in Sunday school when they were really young and graduated from high school together and just really maintained their friendship. So now they have just gone to their 10-year high school reunion. Thomasine has reconnected with a high school crush, and there was a cliffhanger ending with them in Time Will Tell. Rachel has to call someone she hasn't talked to for many, many years and just give them some life-changing information. And then Hope's world has come crashing down around her all at once.
Okay. So is there a continuation of this sequel?
This book ended, but people who have read it have asked me if they want more of these characters. So there may be another book in the future.
What are the themes of this book?
Healing unhealed hurts, resolving unresolved issues, and then meeting unmet needs. And one of the things that I did differently in this book is that I highlighted the male characters a little bit more. So in Time Will Tell, the male characters are only there because of their relationships with the female characters, but they kind of have more of their own life. And I was really inspired to do this. Right before I wrote this book, I had 3 Black male students in one of my class. There were only Black male students in my class, and they each inspired me in different ways. So one of the things that I wanted to do when I wrote this book was to present a different image of Black men in popular culture.
Wow. Trevy, what is the message you want readers to know?
I really want them to know about how the power of friendship can be transformative. So that's one of the messages, that no matter what you've done in the past or what choices you make, there's always an opportunity to recharge your future and grow.
What do you hope readers to take away from reading this book?
One of my characters who's in the first book, just really makes a major life transformation. Like he was absolutely at rock bottom. And in this book, you kind of understand how he got there, just different experiences and traumas that he experienced
Mm-hmm.
through childhood, and just really makes a big transformation, not just for himself, but to make a difference and to be an inspiration to his sons.
What was your inspiration to continue to this second book?
Well, for so many years, people have been asking me what happens next, because I ended Time Will Tell with, a cliffhanger.
Mm-hmm.
And it took me nearly 20 years to write this book, not in the writing process, but life kind of happened. I just had different
Mm-hmm.
situations happen in my life that kind of took me away from the writing for a long while. But I'm kind of glad that I had that time period so that I could do personal growth and become more seasoned both as a person and as a writer. And that's reflected, I believe, just in the more mature decisions some of the characters make.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What did you learn while writing this book?
I may have spoken about this before, but just really to let my characters guide me. So if you read Round About Midnight, you will see my character Hope in chapter
Mm-hmm.
2. And then you don't see her again until chapter 7. And it's because Hope was really mad with me because I made her world come crash down around her all at once.
Okay.
All of the other characters cooperated with me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I have a character who has a drug addiction, and I take him through some really, really difficult things in the first few chapters around about midnight, but he wanted to get better. So he came along with me for the journey, but Hope would not guide me. So I kind of put her in a situation that whipped her into shape. And she transformed in a way that I did not intend for her to transform when
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
wrote the outline, and just really rediscovered herself, and most importantly learned to love herself.
Okay. Are there any characters from your book that are like could be real life people in your life?
Yeah, really, in my life or just in general.
In your life.
In my life, I would say Thomasine's career path
Okay.
is very similar to mine. One of my characters rediscovers like her childhood gift of poetry, and that just really helps her grow. So that was just really also kind of similar to my life.
Uh, can you read an excerpt from the book, please?
Sure. So this excerpt is from chapter 2. And as I mentioned, Hope's world came crashing down around her all at once. So she is in just left. She's staying in a hotel because she's just got this big new job and this big promotion, and she's in this penthouse suite, and she's playing kind of like roulette, a really dangerous game with picking up guys at the hotel bar.
Oh,
Yeah, which is very unlike her character in the first book. So she's left this guy's room, and she is sitting by the pool. Stretched out in a chaise lounge at the edge of the well lit hotel pool, Hope sipped her rum and Diet Coke. Why am I doing this to myself? She looked out at the Atlantic Ocean, only buffered by a neat row of palm trees and a wooden railing. A gentle breeze gave her a slight, momentary chill. Another sip, actually a gulp. A tear began to form in the corner of her eye. How did all of this happen? And how did it happen so fast? Released from its captivity, the tear slowly trickled down Hope's right cheek, just as the joyous couple walked hand in hand for a midnight swim. She watched as he stepped into the shallow end of the pool and tenderly guided his beloved to join him. Radiant, subtle pastel hues gleamed from the fountain in the center of the pool. The colors seemed to change to the rhythm of a slow, sweet melody. Hope's perception about the couple's relationship made her pine for Jason even more. or at least the dream she had of their relationship. She watched as their midnight swim, a waltz synchronized to the changing colors of the fountain, connected them. Tears began to form in her left eye, and she could taste the salt in them as they fell down her face. The couple exited the pool, and he wrapped her in the plush towel before taking his to dry himself off. Although there were numerous empty chaise loungers stationed around the pool, the couple chose the one near Hope. Is everything all right? The woman asked her. Hope took a short sip of her drink, the last one, as what was left of the ice clinked in her glass. Yes, I'm fine. Hope stood up and began to walk towards the ocean. You be careful, hun, the woman said to Hope as she exited the gate surrounding the pool. Hope stood at the railing overlooking the Atlantic Ocean and stared into the bright glow from the moon, which was surrounded by dark, endless water. While the palm trees behind her offered an easy breeze, the floodgate which held her tears back for so long broke, unleashing a sea that raged like a breaking dam in the aftermath of a hurricane. Hope didn't know or care if the couple by the pool could hear her. Her pain was too intense, and she had held it in for so long, looking for solace in the wrong places. This pain cut her deeply, and she felt it each day in her heart. Her shoulders heaved as she continued to release, with her lip quivering and nose running. And when there were no more tears left, at least for that night, Hope turned away from the ocean and made her way back to her suite.
Wow. Wow. What is your role in the literary industry?
I see myself both as an author and sort of as a midwife because I have been consulting with other new authors for more than a decade and helping them birth their book projects.
Okay. What, in your opinion, are the most important elements of good writing?
One of the things, and I also teach this to my students when I teach digital storytelling, audio, video storytelling, is to keep in mind that everything happens someplace. That place looks a certain way, it sounds a certain way, it smells a certain way, and you want to write in a way that you take your reader, or if it's an audio piece, your listener there. And then also, character development is very important, and getting to know your characters just very intimately so that they can guide you and tell you the story.
Terry, what comes first, the plot or the characters?
In this case, the characters came first. So I do write very character-driven books.
Mhm. What inspired you to be an author?
My aunt, and I actually dedicated this book to her, wrote me a letter when I was a kid, and she sent me a gift, and I wrote her a thank you card, and she wrote me back, and I actually started writing through letters. And then when I got a little older, my friends and I would write plays when we were like maybe around 9, 10, 11 years old. And then when I was in, I think, sixth grade, I wrote a book for a homework assignment, and my teacher entered it in Illinois Young Authors. And Gwendolyn Brooks, who at the time was the poet laureate for the state of Illinois, was the keynote speaker and autographed my little book.
Wow. How long have you been writing?
In terms of like writing books, I would say maybe about, goodness, 25, 26 years. But in terms of writing itself, I would take it all the way back to sixth grade. In terms of writing creatively, my mother enrolled me like in an summer enrichment creative writing course. I wrote for my high school newspaper. I interviewed Malcolm Jamal Warner during the heyday of the Cosby Show when he was in town filming a movie. So that my love for writing goes way back throughout my life, back into my childhood.
Mhm. What has been the most difficult part about writing for you?
Finding the time. with work, with caregiving responsibilities.
Tell us about your publishing journey.
So when I first wrote Time, or when I was writing Time Will Tell, there was a woman at my church who had an MBA, and I had just completed my doctorate in journalism and mass communication, and she convinced me that we could start a company and publish these books ourselves. So that idea was really appealing to me. I finished writing my book. She never finished writing her book. So I had to step out on faith and start the company. And I had the name in mind, but I was really afraid to do it until I talked to somebody who had done it before me, and just really had mentors. And once I really committed to publishing Time Will Tell and getting it out into bookstores, people just really showed up to help me out with the things that I didn't know how to do.
How can readers find you and your books?
I have a website, drtrevy.com. I also am on Amazon, barnesandnoble.com, as well as IndieBound. So if you support an independent bookstore or a Black bookstore, you can order it through there, as well as Apple Books. And you can also ask your local library to order it.
Okay. Do you have any book events for the remainder of the year?
I don't have anything coming up in the next couple of months, unfortunately, but I will have some events coming up after the first of the year.
Okay, okay. Are you on social media, and what are your handles?
My handle is Dr. Trevy on Facebook, Twitter, and IG.
Okay. What are you currently working on right now?
I am working on a series. I'm moving to middle grades because I want to teach kids about some of our historical events through the lens of a character who I think they can relate to.
What do you do when you're not like, what do you like to do when you're not writing?
I like photography. So I dabble in that a little bit. I dabble in painting a little bit, and it's actually helped improve my writing because I see things differently now, as well as I'm a lover of films.
Okay. What's your favorite food and why?
That's such a hard question, but I think it's two wings. I think two things I think I can never give up, and it's chicken wings and cupcakes.
That's a combination. What's your best part of the day?
It's interesting because I can do early mornings, I can do late nights. I do most of my writing late at night, but afternoons I want to be taking a nap.
Okay, okay. If you had to describe yourself in 3 words, what would it be?
I think I'm a compassionate person, inspirational, and I just really try to be fair in how I treat people.
Yes, yes, yes. What are you reading right now?
Right now, I actually just finished reading Kimberly Lawson Roby's latest book. We discussed it in my book club, Sister Friends Forever.
Yes, I got
So
that from the
we discussed
publisher
that.
last month.
Yeah, we just
Mhm.
discussed that this past Sunday.
Okay. Who is the author you most admire in your genre?
Oh my gosh, that's such a hard question because there's so many. That is a really difficult question. But one, she's not exactly in my genre, but one author I have a lot of respect for and really appreciate and really enjoyed her work is Henri Fanon Jeffers and her book that came out last year, The Love Songs of W.E.B. Du Bois. Because I just know it's an epic novel that takes multi-generational, and I just know and understand how much research and how much work went in just to writing it, and then it is so beautifully written as well.
Is there anything else you would like to add before we close?
I just encourage people, whatever your dream is, commit to it. Make that commitment, and your desired resources just, oftentimes show up once you really make that strong commitment.
All right. Well, thank you for coming in today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
All right, this is Quinny Clem with Quinny's Book Talk and Reviews. Happy reading. Bye, y'all.